The young Juliet screams, pleads to the Reverend Father to let her go. A story of a young girl in Umuoma village that stopped going to church after what she experienced with the Father. In the quiet village of Umuoma, faith was a guiding light. The people believed in the power of prayer, and at the heart of their devotion was Reverend Father Emmanuel, a man revered by all. But within the shadows of faith, temptation lurked. Juliet was born into a family of strong believers. Her mother, Mama Juliet, was a woman of unwavering faith, a pillar of the church community. From the time Juliet could walk, she was brought into the house of God, where she learned the scriptures, sang hymns, and prayed with the fervor of the devoted. As a child, she would sit at her mother's feet, listening to stories of the saints, the trials of Job, the faith of Abraham. These stories shaped her. They taught her that faith was her greatest weapon against the darkness of the world. As she grew, so did her reputation. She became one of the lead singers in the choir, her voice lifting the spirits of the congregation. She assisted in Sunday school, teaching the younger ones. She was admired, respected, and loved. But admiration, like fire, can sometimes burn in ways unseen. Reverend Father Emmanuel was a man of God. He had been in Umuoma for nearly 15 years, leading the church, offering guidance, comforting the weary. To the people, he was holy, untouchable, a man beyond sin. But even the holiest of men can be tempted. At first, it was just admiration. He saw in Juliet a kind of purity rarely found. Her faith was unshakable, her devotion unmatched. But admiration soon turned into something else. He began noticing her more, not as a child of God, but as a woman. The realization disturbed him. He buried himself in prayer, asking God to take away these thoughts, to remove this growing desire. But the more he tried, the stronger it became, and so temptation found its way into his heart. It started subtly, a lingering glance, a prolonged greeting after Mass, small conversations that stretched longer than they should. Juliet, innocent and trusting, saw nothing strange. Why would she? This was a man of God, a father to the community. But whispers began to spread. A few elders noticed the way the Reverend's eyes followed Juliet, the way he called on her more often than others, the way his voice softened when he spoke her name. Elder Okeke, the oldest man in the village, watched carefully. He had seen many things in his time. He knew the ways of men, even those in robes. One evening, as Juliet was leaving the church, Elder Okeke stopped her. "My child, a shepherd should lead his flock, not desire them. Be careful where you place your trust." Juliet was confused. She did not understand his warning. But something in his eyes unsettled her. One afternoon, Reverend Father Emmanuel called for Juliet. He asked her to meet him in the church office. She went without hesitation, unaware of the storm that awaited. Inside the office, the air was thick. The Reverend smiled, but there was something different about it, something Juliet could not place. "You are special, Juliet," he said. "God has placed a great calling on your life." Juliet nodded, eager to listen. "But the path of the chosen is never easy," he continued. "There are things the Lord reveals to his servants, things not everyone can understand." His voice was soft, almost hypnotic. Juliet listened, but unease crept into her heart. "Sometimes," he went on, "God's love is expressed in ways beyond human comprehension." He reached for her hand. Juliet's breath caught in her throat. Something was wrong. This was not right. This was not the man she had always trusted. She pulled her hand away. "Father, I don't understand." His smile faltered, but only for a moment. He leaned closer. "You will, my child, in time." Juliet left the office with her heart pounding. She could not shake the feeling that something terrible had just happened, but she was not sure what. For days she wrestled with it. Was she mistaken? Was she overthinking? Surely a man of God would not have meant anything improper. But then it happened again. Another invitation, another lingering touch, another uneasy feeling, and this time she knew. She remembered Elder Okeke's warning. She remembered her mother's teachings. Faith was her shield, and she would not let it be broken. She made her decision. Faith had been tested. Would she speak out, or would she carry this burden alone? Would the village believe her, or would they see only the man in robes? The story was not over. The river had only begun its course. Nevertheless, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and on notification for the part 2 of the story and other interesting stories.